This is the show your college professor warned you about. Prepare to be triggered. You're listening to The Patriarchy with Ian and Sal.
Episode 10 of The Patriarchy Show. Welcome. We have a lot of stuff as usual tonight. I think we're going to talk about Donald Trump, the fascist, as Ian likes to call him.
I love to call him the fascist. God Emperor Fascist Donald Trump.
But
anyway, I mean, really, how many fascist countries were there? Really, I mean, Italy and people like to call other regimes fascist, but I think Italy was like the most pure.
Well, I listen to System of a Down, and they tell me that I live in a fascist nation.
Was that BYOB?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the song. I listened to that yesterday and I started blasting it. I hate their politics, but the freaking music is pretty good.
Yeah, it gets me pumped.
Yeah.
Wake up! We have a lot of stuff, man. The Republican convention just ended. Hillary chose Tim Cuckface Kane.
Cuckface Kane.
We have two awesome guests.
We do?
Yeah, well, one. We have Goose, and then we have the unpredictable Bryden Proctor.
True. Because what we're gonna start splitting up into two shows. I guess we might as well announce it now, right?
Why not?
Yeah, so we're gonna do one show for Saturday and one show. What we agree on Wednesday, Sal?
That sounds good.
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, sounds good.
So,
okay. Yeah,
who will
plan
be
it out here for everyone to listen to our boring planning out of show?
Who's going to be on part 2 of week 10 episode, whatever you want to call it?
I think episode 11. Would that be right?
Is that
no? That would be part 2 of episode 10 technically, because that's how it was marketed. I guess Bryden will be on part 2 on Wednesday. Saturday is Wild Goose, and we'll get more into him.
Wild Goose. Oh, I'm supposed to do this. Where he needs to explain more clearly why. We know that he's called Goose, but not why he's called Goose. So
I think we'll figure it out. We'll get to it. We'll get to the bottom of that. But so this episode 10, I guess part 1. Listen, I mean, I think we have a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm trying to open up my document to figure out what the hell we're talking about, but it's not working. No, but so a couple weeks ago, I guess episode 8, your boy Pat was on, and we did a little bit about Michael Brown and Hulk Hogan and Hulkamania. And about wrestling.
About Hulk Hogan making a song.
Yeah, about an awful song.
That was the most horrible shit I've ever heard in my life.
It's so awful. Go back, listen to episode 8. It's at the end. Or you go to our Facebook page or YouTube. We made it a highlight if you just want to hear that part. Yeah, it was awful. The song was terrible. We talked about Macho Man. But apparently, I've totally forgot about this. Almost 2 decades ago, right, Sal? You had a run-in with a wrestler. An old 80s and 90s WWF wrestler. Who was it? Ready?
Who was it?
Yeah, who was it? Play the music.
It was New Jersey, Asbury Park, New Jersey's own Bam Bam Bigelow.
Bam Bam Bigelow. Now, he's dead Bigelow now, right?
Yeah, he's rotting in his oversized casket somewhere.
He's a big dude, right?
Well, I mean, his wrestling jumpsuit was flames, so he might have been cremated. I don't know. Who cares?
It's a big urn.
It's a fucking 50-gallon drum.
So
fat fuck.
Apparently, you're a huge fan of Bam Bam Bigelow's, and he must have left a positive impression on you, huh?
Well, to be honest, before this incident, I could have given a shit less about Bam Bam Bigelow. There was, I had, I never thought to myself that I would ever run into him, and I never wanted to.
Why would you think one day, hey, I'm driving down the road, or I'm walking through my day, I'm going to run into Bam Bam Bigelow? Well, it's New Jersey, so, I mean, everyone in New Jersey's run into, like, Kevin Smith at some point, I think.
Yeah, I live really close to Red Bank, so do you. I've gone into his secret stash comic book store just to see the setup for his podcasts and some.
What's so secret about it?
I don't know. I'll tell you what though. Red Bank has changed since when he first opened up, Kevin Smith in Red Bank with the comic store. It was more of like a hip town with these cool stores, but all those places are getting squeezed out of there, and now you're getting like the Tiffany's and the high class restaurants, and his place sticks out like a sore thumb, and it's starting to not fit there. It might even make sense for him to move to a place like Asbury Park, New Jersey. Yeah, because
I hear what you're saying, but Bam Bam. We want to hear about Bam Bam now.
Okay, let's talk about Bam Bam. I don't know how we went off to Kevin Smith, but so basically, when I was younger, back in the late '90s, I worked for a landscaping company. I was a foreman, and it was easy to become a foreman back then. You know, you're white. You have a driver's license and you're white and you speak English. You could be a landscape foreman. So I'm driving through Jersey in a town called Eatontown, and which is close to Asbury. It's not too far, and there's a major highway coming up. Like I'm like 2 blocks from this highway, and I'm on this road that has 2 lanes, and I'm trying to get over to the left lane from the right, and this Corvette comes speeding up on my left, and I saw him coming, so I was driving like this small dump truck that had a trailer connected to it with all of our equipment. I cut the Corvette off. We got to this light, and the car's flashing and honking the horns. Then we start, the light turns green, and then he cuts around like to our right, and he drives up on the right side, and I have a truck filled with like 6 or 7 Mexicans. And they start yelling "fuck you" to this guy, and they're giving him a finger, and they're just going nuts with their friggin' broken English. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting there laughing. I'm like, I didn't think anything of it. We got to the light to this highway. I don't know if anyone knows Eatontown, New Jersey, Highway 36, and we were right directly across the street from the Monmouth Mall, or some people call it the Eatontown Mall.
I know exactly where it is. Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting there. And all of a sudden, I see the door open from the side view mirror. And all of a sudden, I see this fat guy with a bald head with flames on it. It's fucking rushing up. And they're like, all the Mexicans like, "Oh no, go, 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 go!" So I give this last look, and he's just about to open the fucking door. Luckily, not on my side, the passenger side,
the Mexican side.
But the Mexican guy almost jumped onto my lap to not to avoid this. I just looked over to my right, and there's Bam Bam Bigelow standing in my fucking door. So I ran a red light with a friggin' a dump truck with a trailer attached to it through traffic. I almost got friggin' T-boned. Or like a bunch of times, made it across, and that was the last I saw of him. He was driving in a Corvette convertible.
Bam Bam Bigelow tried to kill you.
So I shit myself. Luckily he didn't get into the truck, because I would have gotten fucked up.
Luckily, yeah, that could have been bad. That could have went very wrong very quickly. Why do we talk about wrestlers from the 80s and 90s so much on this fucking show?
I don't know, but that moment of my life I'll never forget, because it was very scary. If you're not scared of a friggin' 305-pound man, running at
6'4", 6'5", yeah,
whatever he was, he was a big son of a bitch.
Big flicker. So I don't know. We talked about 80s and 90s wrestling. It's probably like the 3rd or 4th time.
Why
but
not?
We had to bring this one up because I totally forgot about it. It's hilarious.
It pops into my head every so often, even though it's been since like 98, 99.
Right.
It's something that's still fresh.
Still fresh. Now, you hear about this out. WikiLeaks released a lot of DNC emails from the DNC. Hashtag, you could search on Twitter, hashtag DNC leaks if you want to go through all that. But almost another 20,000 emails. WikiLeaks saying they're not revealing their sources. People are saying it's Guccifer 2.0. I mean, probably is, but no one knows for sure. There's some interesting stuff in there. It looks like the DNC intentionally subverted and got in the way of Bernie Sanders' campaign, which is he was running as a Democrat. They're on the same team. They're supposed to be impartial. You're not supposed to do that. I guess it would be the same as if like the NFL, told the refs to call penalties against only one team and not the other team to interfere, right?
Yeah.
I guess it'd be kind of like the same thing.
Definitely.
And have we heard anything about this on the media? I mean, we heard Tim Kaine, but have we heard anything about the DNC actively sabotaging the Bernie Sanders campaign?
I don't think
I haven't seen much.
Anyone in the mainstream, even on the right side, I don't think they're going to want to support WikiLeaks because they made a huge deal about WikiLeaks. They made a huge deal about Edward Snowden and what's that other guy's name? The friggin' or whatever she is that leaked some friggin' info too.
Oh yeah, the tranny.
I don't remember the name, but I think that they would. I think they think they've boxed themselves out of even trying to use them as a source and look friendly towards them. But the whole thing with Bernie Sanders is kind of predictable that they did that. But my favorite part of this leak was the whole Craigslist thing. If you know about that.
Oh yeah. Go into that. What happened there?
So basically, what they want to do is make up fake Craigslist ads to like prostitutes or escorts, and they want to make them look like they were coming from Target. They were trying to target Donald Trump to make it look like he was the one trying to score on Craigslist. That's that just reeks of desperation.
Really, really dirty. And that it wasn't like a PAC doing that. This was the DNC, right? It wasn't the political action committee where they can go plausible deniability. We don't know they can do their own things. Blah blah blah, disavow. But no, this is the DNC doing this.
Yeah, and you'll see some off the record stuff being shared with the media about just leaking stuff about Bernie Sanders. And you'll see, you didn't get this from me.
Yeah, speaking on that, WikiLeaks tweeted a few hours ago, broadcasters so far implicated in the DNC leaks, MSNBC and CBS. Broadcasters so far not covering the DNC leaks. You want to guess? MSNBC and CBS. So, yeah, they're kind of silent. Apparently, there was an email in there that was classified on Israel that Clinton VP candidate Tim Kaine was supposed to deliver to Obama. So they got classified information leaked. I wonder how they got that, Hillary, if her email, she didn't do anything wrong. There's about 177 WikiLeaks docs on Hillary Clinton's VP pick in this email dump.
What pissed me off about this is that it shows that she was trying to get D-Ray on as a potential surrogate at an event.
Right.
That was some cuck shit. That would have been... Yeah.
Well, they're having Michael Brown's mother, which would start the whole Black Lives Matter movement false narrative.
Now, what is she going to say? Oh, never mind that my son, robbed a store and nearly assaulted a friggin' poor old man. Right. Don't worry about that. My son's a victim.
He's a victim. He's the victim. He went for a cop's gun, tried to kill a cop.
Nothing.
He didn't do nothing, Sal. But seriously, this is all the DNC. Now, we didn't even get into the Bernie Sanders shit. They're still going through these fucking emails. For example, the Democrat chair, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, called the president of MSNBC, Phil Griffin, to ask to stop Joe Scarborough to not be as so sympathetic to Bernie Sanders. You believe that shit? Crazy. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, DNC, told MSNBC president to tell Joe Scarborough to cut it out with being nice to Bernie Sanders. If I was a Bernie Sanders supporter, like if the shoe was on the other foot and Donald Trump didn't get the nomination and one of the cucks did, and this shit came out about the RNC, about Trump, I'd be livid. I would not vote for that Republican. I don't care what fucking pledge, because fuck that. Because, I mean, the RNC did actively try to stop Trump. He was just so popular they couldn't do it. They couldn't stop him. The DNC, they were able to stop Bernie because the Clinton machine is just massive, and it's been accumulating for over 3 decades, you know?
It doesn't surprise me. I wish that more people would talk about some, like, the classified leaks. I wish they would talk more about their, this D-Ray guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a turnoff to a lot of more moderate voters.
Well, I think
leaning Democrat.
I think with the Bernie stuff, I don't think lots of them are going to go to Trump. I think they're just going to stay home, especially after this, if they're paying attention, for God's sakes, with these DNC leaks. I mean, they even plotted to expose Bernie Sanders as an atheist because he would dodge questions about his religious background. So they asked somebody, I forgot who, but someone in the media, to push him on his religious beliefs. So again, this is the DNC. This is supposedly they're holding the Democratic primaries. They have their contenders, and the people are supposed to decide, and they're just supposed to host everything, put up the polling locations, and then put up the debates, and then, let the people decide. They're actively plotting against one of their own candidates. Yeah, he was an independent in Vermont, but he caucused with the Democrats, and he ran as a Democrat, and the Democrats has accepted for him to run as a Democrat, and they actively went against him. So we know crooked Hillary is crooked. We know Hillary lied. How the fuck did they get hold of classified emails from her now vice presidential pick? I mean, this is just some of the shit. I haven't gone through most of it. They got the Craigslist ad. I mean, yeah, people do op research and dig up dirty shit all the time, but this is going beyond op research, in my opinion. I've done op research. This is going beyond op research.
I think it's funny that WikiLeaks is like really sticking it to the DNC and nobody else. I'm trying to think why.
I think maybe because they were Bernie people. Maybe. And they don't really care. Maybe they want to see the world burn. I don't know. Maybe they were able to get the emails, but the Republicans were way more secure, so they couldn't get theirs, and Hillary was just an easy target because she's an asshole. I mean, there's plenty of reasons why, and it's interesting that they did it today on the day she goes to announce her vice presidential pick. So, but the news is covering the vice presidential pick. They're not covering the WikiLeaks dump and the sabotage of Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, I think if WikiLeaks did leak material from the RNC, it would probably show them trying to undermine Donald Trump. I don't think it would show less unity in the Republican Party. The DNC, they have their shit together. They're just the establishment on their side. They have who they want running. Right. The RNC is
they don't have. That's for sure. Apparently, there's rumors Mitt Romney and Jeb Bush are going to back Gary Johnson, which not substantiated, but apparently that's what they're saying.
In my opinion, this is going to show the character of Gary Johnson. If he doesn't disavow them, if he doesn't deny their endorsement or just ignore that, he's basically.
Can you take your Libertarian Party membership card and burn it for YouTube?
Disavow. Yes, I will.
Does that?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Well, I already want to burn it because of Gary Johnson. I'm not supporting him one bit. There's no way I would vote for Gary Johnson.
Well, his VP pick is Bill Weld, the former governor of Massachusetts. For God's sakes, one of the most liberal states in the country. I mean, whatever. But it's Bill Weld is a libertarian. Come on, Bill
he's
Weld,
not
libertarian. Stop it. That's like saying Donald Trump is a free market capitalist. We know he's not. We're well aware of that, and I accepted that. Bill Weld is a libertarian. Get the fuck out of here. So Gary Johnson already is cool with this stuff. Taking Bill Weld. So I don't see him disavowing. I don't see him disavowing that. I don't see him disavowing Jeb Bush or Mitt Romney.
Well, Weld publicly endorsed Mitt Romney in 2008.
Yep, Weld was on the Romney team.
He also helped raise money for him.
That is true. I mean, he
personally donated to Mitt Romney.
Bro, Bill Weld is so establishment. It's absurd. He was an attorney general under Reagan. He was an attorney general in Massachusetts, and he was the governor of Massachusetts for I think like 6 years or so.
And I think he tried to run in New York.
Right.
Against Elliot Spitzer, he was thinking about.
And he just became a libertarian this year. People say Donald Trump's not a real Republican, but at least he's been a Republican for over a decade that we know of, right? I think, pretty sure. Bill Weld was a Republican up until 2016 and just became a libertarian. This is fucking bullshit.
And
Stop it.
How come nobody brings up Bernie Sanders? He wasn't always a Democrat. He's always been an independent.
Bernie?
Yeah, he's been an independent.
Yeah. Was he part of like this? Was he a Socialist Party member in like the 60s, or he's just been an independent?
Let me look into that real quick.
Right.
No, but he was definitely an independent because I used to watch C-SPAN all the fucking time.
Got it.
I saw that I next to his name.
Liberty Union before 79, an independent from 79 to 2015, and of course to run as a Democrat, he had to become a Democrat in 2015. But like I said, the Democrats accepted him, and then they actively worked against him, and he always caucused, like I said before, with the Democrats. So, I mean...
He hosted a Noam Chomsky speech. That says it all.
Oh, God. And the Liberty Union Party, just so you know, of Vermont is a very radical left party founded by Congressman William Meyer. I don't know if that rings any bells for anyone, but it's left. It's considered far left. That the whole Liberty Union Party. They're very socialist, very anti-war. Of course, socialism being, I guess anti-capitalist as well. Their colors were, guess what colors they were? Their party colors.
I don't know.
Try to guess.
Pink? No. Commie red?
Yeah, red and black. Yes.
There
yes.
you go.
Ding, ding, ding. Was the goose. But no. Yeah, absolutely. Red and black. So, I mean... But like you said, Bernie Sanders caucused, like I said, with the Democrats. He ran as a Democrat in the primary. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the DNC, said, "Oh yeah, no, it's fine. He's a Democrat now. We'll take him in, and blah blah blah. We're not going to actively work against him." They actively worked against him. It's out there for everybody to see, and nobody gives a shit. And I posted the information on my Facebook. I posted some of it on Twitter. I Feel the Burn. And I'm just getting crickets from Bernie supporters. I thought these people were very supportive of Bernie and his cause. But apparently, a lot of them are falling in line. They get Hillary's cracking the whip. Debbie Wasserman Schultz cracking that whip on them.
She always hated Bernie.
Oh, yeah. But there's so much. There's so much of active sabotaging. It's insane.
If there's real Bernie Sanders fans that follow him because of his anti-trade, his pro, rolling back Glass-Steagall, his anti-McCain Feingold and all that shit. Mm-hmm. That's all Trump things right there.
Yeah, that's all Trump stuff. Bernie Sanders, especially economically, is probably closer than Trump and Hillary Clinton. So.
He never liked Greenspan. He never, he was anti-Fed.
Right.
But
right.
My favorite video is where he's at a book signing and that guy walks up to him and says, "Can you sign your book? Sign it to Capitalism, the greatest economic system in the world." He's like, "No,
no, I won't do that." But yeah, poor Bernie, man. I feel bad for the Bernie people. Really do. And lots of them were 100% behind him. And some of my friends were Bernie people. I'm telling you, she's winning. It doesn't matter what you do. They don't want him. Like, oh no, we could try at least. I'm like, yeah, that's why I felt about Trump. Try at least. Yeah, but he wasn't a billionaire, and he was going up against a machine. I mean, an active machine. I mean, Barack Obama was the only reason why he won was in 2008 was because he was black, and what did Joe Biden? How did Joe Biden put it? What was his quote about Barack Obama?
He's clean, a clean, articulate, a
clean, articulate, well-spoken black person or something.
I should pull that up.
Oh, the clip? Do we have it?
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, it says Obama is the first clean African American. Yeah, play that.
See if I can find this right here.
Clean and articulate.
Like everybody these days, Biden declared online, but it was old media that got him in trouble.
That's fine.
Personal comments he made about another White House hopeful, Senator Barack Obama, recorded by a reporter for the New York Observer.
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American who was articulate and bright and clean and a nice-looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
Yeah. That's a storybook.
That's a storybook. And, I mean, technically he's right. It was a storybook because that's how he got elected.
Does he read his kids that storybook at night?
Yeah.
Let me read you about the clean, articulate black man.
The story of the clean, articulate black man by Joe Biden.
Dude, I should write a book and have my name be Joe Biden. My what is it called? Your pen name?
Nom de plume.
What is that called? Your name?
Yeah, pen name. Yeah.
My pen name will be Joe Biden. I'll write a children's book. The clean, articulate black man. It'll just be like 2 pages.
It's just a picture of Barack Obama and then a picture of Joe Biden, and underneath it, clean, articulate black man. Yeah, but no, there's the WikiLeaks stump is huge. I mean, I don't know.
It's huge for people that pay attention like us.
Yeah. If the media doesn't cover it, it's not going to get covered, and that's that. I just think people, and I think the RNC should run with it and promote this. To be honest with you,
I bet you Trump will be the only person that talks about it
of all the politicians. I think they should put millions of dollars and blast this and amplify it all over. If the media won't cover it, we'll let Trump do it. But anyway, we have to wrap up this introductory segment, the first segment of episode 10, part 1, because calling is a special guest, Wild Goose. So we're going to go into, I think he's on the phone. Sal, you got him?
Yeah, let's get him on the phone.
All right. With us on the phone is Wild Goose. Wild Goose is an internet troll who spells doxing with 1 X. He's a member of the BWC for life. You can find him on Twitter at Goose Jenner. So, Goose, what's up?
Hey, yeah, I guess a little background. Not everybody's going to know what the BWC is. It's the Bill Wagner crew.
Right.
It's an organized trolling group. We've been around a while. I guess it's similar and related to the GNAA. I'm not going to spell out what that stands for. I think everybody do their own Google work on what that means. I don't know if YouTube would allow me to say, Gay N-Word Association of America. And by N-Word, I mean nigger.
Well, I think we crossed the N-Word boundary. What was that, Sal? Episode 2?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I think we. Yeah,
good.
And they haven't kicked us off SoundCloud or YouTube yet, so
we're doing good.
Yeah. So I saw that you wrote an article for the Ralph Retort. Titled, you did a guest editorial piece titled Wild Goose asks, is the free Milo hashtag trend a cancer on the alt-right? Now, you want to explain that a little bit?
Well, to be fair, what I originally wanted the title to be is Milo is a cancer on the alt-right. Instead, I took a neutral stance just to save Ralph some grief.
Right.
Because, these people, a lot of the fans of these people that we criticize. They'll get butt mad and come after them, and you know, a lot of them get confused when I write editorials because I can't be trusted. So when I write an editorial, you know, it's always guest editorial by Wild Goose. It's not by Wild Goose. It says by Ralph. You know, you'd have to see the site to know what I'm talking about. It's just the way it's formatted. Okay. So a lot of people get confused and think it's Ralph writing it. I just wanted to be fair to Ralph because there's been I usually write really contentious articles that get people a little rustled. Right. Which is interesting. That's what people want to read. That's what people want to see. They don't want some Yes Man article saying, "Hey, I mean, how many articles have you seen?"
That's
just
exactly.
Saying, "Oh, well, Milo's ban was totally unjustified. You know, it's against free speech." You know, it's just it becomes white noise after a while. So I presented an alternative point of view that I felt sort of rationalized. The financial calculus, if you will, behind Twitter's decision to ban Milo. I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. I even said I disagreed with their decision, but I think there's sound business rationale.
Okay.
So that's kind of the gist of the article. But I mean, if you have any questions about particulars, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So, I mean, the conclusion was it was a good financial decision by Twitter. But don't you think also with these more left-wing organizations, like tech organizations, even Hollywood, a lot of times they'll justify a loss of profit for SJW causes?
Well, it followed the money. As what was it? All the President's Men with Robert Redford. The man in black or the guy in the shadows in that parking garage. He said, "Follow the money." You know, if you look at a lot of the decisions behind a lot of these social media platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you know, anytime they ban someone, it's not because they really want to ban them. It's to appease their shareholders. And a lot of their shareholders are liberal and have a lot of leftist moral leanings, you know, even if they're not on the left, they might not like the whole troll thing. You know, they might not like that. Even if they're conservatives, there's a lot of moral outrage about internet trolling. And I don't think that's, specific to either political leaning. But you know, you could argue that Twitter shareholders are strongly on the left, though really I've done my own research on that and I can't find, you know, I've looked at a lot of their shareholders, and I can't really find anything specific about them that defines them as being either a liberal or a Democrat or anything. They're usually like tech angel investors or entrepreneurs. So, you know, yeah, I think the whole they banned Milo because he's a conservative is a conjecture at best. There's no statistics or facts to back that up.
Right, yeah. You can't directly make the correlation. People are just, you know, going, well, he's a gay conservative, so they banned him, or you know, whatever.
Right. Well, you know, and this happens a lot where you do see a lot of conservatives being banned, but look at the people who are really presenting contentious arguments right now that are getting people upset. It's not the liberals that are doing that. Right. It's the conservatives, because right now, you know, the pendulum is so far to the left that everything the left does is totally morally justified. If you look at Black Lives Matter or Occupy, you know, it's been so heavily ingrained in the media. So everybody's fine with that status quo. But when you have a conservative coming in, obviously that's going to be the contentious issue. Right. But it would be the same if the pendulum were swung in the other direction, I think. You know, just during the Bush era. During the Bush era, you know, anybody trying to push leftist ideas or liberal ideas, not necessarily leftist, but yeah, they'd be demonized and censored in the same way.
Right.
Exactly.
There's a lot of that going on. You could look at Michael Moore.
Tipper Gore.
And I'm not saying I like or agree with any of these people. I did like Rage Against the Machine in high school.
Right.
I even liked a lot of their political ideas, but I grew up, unfortunately, their ideas didn't,
Right.
I had a history teacher that once told me that the older you get, the more conservative you become. I think that's actually true in most cases. I don't know if you become more conservative, but I think most people become more set in their ways and their ideas. So
I think
that this is a matter of Milo happening to be on the opposite end of the spectrum of the status quo.
I agree with that.
Yeah, because you saw it started in 1985 with Tipper Gore with the PMRC, the Parents Music Resource Center, and the whole outrage by the the Secretary of Treasury James Baker and all those guys in the Christian right going, no, we have to censor these crazy musicians on the right. Now it's like you said, the pendulum it's been 30 years, a little bit over 30 years. Pendulum's now all the way over on the left, and now it's the conservatives going, this isn't help us. We're being censored. You
didn't see this in the early 2000s and the 90s,
right?
Even when we had Bill Clinton in office, you had the people on the left getting censored a lot of times because Bill Clinton isn't a real social liberal. But I mean that's beside the point. I don't want to go off on that tangent.
You could go
anytime we get to talking about the Clintons, that's a whole different bag of cats there.
A whole nother box of cigars.
I definitely think that you could argue that because Milo is on the opposite end of the status quo, that may have been a factor in him being banned, but I don't think that was the main onus behind it. I honestly think it had everything to do with money and appeasing their shareholders. And there's statistics to back that up. I plugged facts and cited their own terms of service and cited their own publicly stated rationale for banning him. And
now, the terms of service,
it adds up.
Now, what? Now they banned him because of targeted harassment. That's what they claim, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, did he actually break that term of the service?
Well, here's the thing. When I posted that article, I have to go back and read it. Somebody made a comment that maybe I was inaccurate in saying that, he was responsible for the dogpiling. Mm-hmm. But and they said that that's because there was already dogpiling going on. So really, if anything, maybe I was a little inaccurate. He didn't. I don't think he initiated the dogpiling. But when you're a Twitter user with that large of a following, you can't really deny that when you quote somebody or use their handle and you're either flaming them or you're arguing with them or you're insulting them on your own timeline so that everybody can see it. 330,000 people or however many people he had following him at the time.
Right.
You can't honestly deny that doesn't lead to dogpiling or exacerbating an already heated exchange going on with Leslie Jones.
Do you think they should have to clarify that? I mean, because he didn't go, "Hey, everybody, send her gorilla pictures."
Yeah,
I mean, he didn't say that direct.
I elaborated on that too. And this is something that I've been pushing for a while. Is because I've been banned for the same thing multiple times. I've lost track of how many times I've been banned off Twitter since 2009. But yeah, targeted harassment, it seems to be like a really blanket thing.
Right.
And one thing I'd really like them to bring to the table is a more clarified and concise terms of service that really spells things out.
Right.
And, I was in the chat room earlier and somebody was suggesting, hey, why not apply to Twitter as one of their platform analysts? I'm actually very seriously looking into that. I don't want to go too far into that, but I am looking at sort of stepping across the aisle, so to speak. I don't know if I'd say I would be a defector, from the troll side of things, but I'd definitely be willing to lend myself as a subject matter expert on not only internet trolls but spammers and analysis as well. In helping to make Twitter be a better platform where people feel comfortable exercising their free speech with a reasonable expectation of not being banned for expressing their opinion, whether that's insulting somebody or calling them out on a crappy argument or a crappy movie like Ghostbusters.
Right.
I think that their main failing is that they don't spell any of this out, and it's very difficult for its users to follow rules that don't even exist.
Right, and they have that. So their conclusion was this year to put together the the Trust and Safety Council,
right?
Which is just as in the dark as the Twitter terms of service. Now, what do you know about the Trust and Safety Council?
You have people like Anita Sarkeesian on there who been known to fabricate things. It just pours more logs into the fire. It fuels the whole argument that they're just catering to the ideas and sensibilities of the left, and it's really not done them any good at all.
What do you think? What's your opinion of Jack Dorsey publicly saying to Leslie from Ghostbusters, publicly tweeting her, say, "Hey, I'm following you. DM me." What was that? What do you think the effect of him doing that was? What was the purpose? Was it to, save face or what? I mean, because if you or I were getting harassment and sent Harambe pictures, he wouldn't do that to us. So what do you think is the point behind that?
Well, she's a well-known celebrity. Well, I don't want to say well-known. She's definitely more well-known now, as opposed to before all of this. But she had a large following on there. I think she had a little under 80,000 followers before all of this. Now she has well over 300. Last I looked. I think Jack was making a point of publicly showing that he was interested in resolving this issue with somebody who brings something to the table of Twitter, and she's a celebrity. Right. She's an actress. She's in a well-known movie, right?
Yeah.
For better or worse, everybody knows about it. So obviously you want that person to stay on your platform. More importantly, you don't want them leaving because of Twitter's ineptitude when it comes to handling internet trolls. And that's been something that's been constantly hammered on by the media.
Right.
And like I said, it's not a political thing. It's all sides of the spectrum. Everybody's called Twitter out on not being able to handle internet trolls. And Milo got caught up in that. He willingly got caught up into that. And I don't think it's honest to say that he didn't know exactly what he was doing. Right. I think he did what he did for a very good reason. I might be speculating here, but look, he had that whole gays for Trump thing going on. Mm-hmm. He had the RNC the day before Trump accepted his nomination. What better time to be censored by Twitter? Because you can really hammer home that argument that conservatives are being censored by social media platforms and push the agenda of, anti-political correctness, which is great. I have no problem with fighting against political correctness and censorship, but I still think we ought to be a little honest with ourselves. He knew exactly what he was doing. He didn't stumble into this by happenstance.
Well, I think Milo has I don't want to say outgrown, but doesn't really need Twitter anymore at this point. I mean, sure, it would be helpful, but I mean, is it necessary for him? I mean, a year ago, yeah. Now, not so much. For guys like me, Sal, whoever, who have little podcasts and little websites, we need it. Someone like Milo, I think he might have outgrown it, saw that, and then just ran with it just to get banned. I don't know. Again, conjecture.
Well, I think Twitter was really helpful for him. That's what helped really prop him up. I mean,
right.
A lot of the drama that you see with him was originally manifested on Twitter. However, I don't know if in the long run it's going to make a difference, but this definitely, I think it was an expendable platform for him where he had enough of a followership, both on and off Twitter, to where getting banned off Twitter would make him a huge martyr. It's that whole Obi-Wan, if you strike me down, I'll be greater than ever before. I butchered the shit out of that quote, but anyways, He's actually said that before. He's quoted that exact line. He knows exactly what he's doing. I firmly believe he intentionally sought to get banned.
Okay. All right. Well, no, that's I agree with that. Now, I want to get to the point of we talked about Milo, we talked about him, getting banned from Twitter, we talked about Jack, all that fun stuff. Now, why do you think he is a cancer on the alt-right?
I don't think it's just him. I think it has more to do with people clinging to e-celebrities. I had somebody tell me the other day, well, what other option do we have in order to be heard? Mm-hmm. So we need these e-celebrities. We need these big people to voice our opinions. And, we saw that the other night with Trump saying, I am your voice. Right. Look, back in 2007, 2008, upwards until 2010 and 11 when we had the Occupy thing going on, we had something called the Internet Hate Machine, and we didn't rely on e-celebrities. In fact, we frowned on it. Right. And, they actually were able to change things on an individual level and a collective level. There's a lot of organized stuff going on. But they really ostracized people who tried to use a political platform or a message for their own egotistical or financial gain. Right. And I'd like to see us go back to that, but I don't think that's going to happen because back then, a lot of the social media was really new. I mean, I remember having MySpace in high school and Facebook. I really quickly got rid of Facebook. Thank God, because I posted everything on there. I call it Docsbook. Yeah. But it was still, social media was still fresh. We weren't so saturated with all these people trying to make a name for themselves.
Right. Back then it was just like Tila Tequila and Jeffree Star, and that's pretty much it for my
Right. Yeah. And looking at Tila Tequila now, on Twitter is kind of funny because there's a bit of a nostalgic value to it. Just seeing her go off like that. And she was just this, innocent, happy-go-lucky model on MySpace, right. And now she's spouting shit about Hitler and, alt-right memes. And it's funny. I think she might have some mental issues. Right. And that probably has something to do with it. But it's in good fun, I think. But I guess back on point, these celebrities aren't inherently bad, but I think people's dependence on them in order to form their own opinions and thoughts is cancerous. I think relying on them to such an extent that not only do you need them to voice your message, you're putting such a priority on them sticking around that you're willing to twist your own message just so they'll keep talking about it. And then by the end, your original message just becomes incrementally bastardized and adulterated. So I feel like that is why the Free Milo trend and other trends like that are a cancer on not just the alt-right, but any sort of hashtag slacktivist movement. We've seen that in Occupy. We've seen it with the Tea Party. We've seen it in Gamergate. People cling to these e-celebrities just because they have a huge following. They might have some media ties, and they're willing to let them inject their own motivations and political leanings, and just in order to be heard about, just in order to let the world at large know that you exist.
Right.
But if you're willing to sacrifice your original agenda just so you can make a couple talking points on CNN or Fox or what have you, is it really worth it? Is that what we come down to? Is trying to appease these celebrities just so they'll keep talking about us? I think people aren't willing to risk offending them or rubbing them the wrong way just because, they want to keep them around because they're useful. And they are useful. They're a megaphone, a signal boost,
right? But
they're really only as useful as we make them. And I think we did make them. So if we're able to make these e-celebrities in the first place, then why can't we just speak for ourselves in mass and have the same effect?
Right. Yeah. So you're saying it's more amplifying, but then there's this filtration system that goes through, and the message just gets garbled, and then if it's not even close to what the original message was, what's the fucking point at that point, right?
Sure. Yeah, there's a bit of a telephone game going on,
right?
That, and they're only willing to. A lot of these people have their own careers going on. They have their own following that they have to appease. They have their sponsors. They have their agents. So they're not willing to speak as emotionally and enthusiastically about your point as the average Joe who really doesn't have anything to lose. I think that person is the most powerful person, is the sock account with 20 followers with an egg avatar, as opposed to Adam Baldwin or a Milo Yiannopoulos who has people who are financially tied to his opinions, like Breitbart. Okay. And, if Milo goes on talking about the Jews and denying the Holocaust, which is something he would never do, right. That would obviously call a lot of heat towards Breitbart and his other financial interests. So, if that's your thing, if you want people to deny the Holocaust, if you're trying to push that message, something really contentious like that, and you're willing to bastardize the point by just having them say, "Oh well, Jews have a heavy influence on the media," but it just gets watered down because of their influence rather than despite it. I think, I think their influence is more of a restraint than the lack thereof.
Okay. So I'm trying to. Okay. So the alt-right
it's a
message.
Conflict of interest, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. So the alt-right message is pretty much not only getting watered down; it's getting completely lost. Now here's a question, and I know a lot of people answer this a lot of different ways. That I've talked to, on Twitter and wherever. What is the alt-right? What's your opinion? In your opinion, what is the alt-right? I mean, some say it's an umbrella term, some say it's specific. What's it to you?
I don't know if I'm really qualified to speak on that. I could give you my own idea of what it is. I think conservatives have been alienated by their own party for so many years that a lot of these extreme ideas are coming out, and they're finally beginning to double down on them rather than try to appease the left in order to have their point of view heard. It's like I was saying earlier, there's a conflict of interest, and we see, just like with Milo and how I feel people have watered down their message just to keep them around.
Right.
I think conservatives for many years have watered down their message just to appease the left in order to appear more centrist and media friendly, you know.
Right, and I you could see the scales falling from people's eyes. You know, for example, even in the mainstream, like Trump, you know, everyone's saying, "Oh, he's going to pick a black woman, or he's going to pick a female Latino. He'll pick Marco Rubio." He went with the Midwestern white guy. Like he didn't that whole appeasing the left, identity sort of left wing identity politics. He was like, "Nah, he's the best guy." Had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, because he's so neutral and friendly and unoffensive. Mitt Romney, you know, I remember back in 2012, I just looked at him. I just, you know, I didn't dislike him.
Right.
Back then, it's just, I just didn't really feel enthused about him. He didn't really say anything that broke any boundaries or really hurt the left in any way. He just wasn't a trailblazer in the same way Donald Trump has been. Donald Trump has really just shattered the Overton window. And, you know, for your listeners, we were talking about the alt-right. The Overton window is a term that's used a lot within the alt-right. When we talk about the Overton window, we're talking about the extent at which we're willing to express ourselves in a public forum without restraint. So, in other words, we're willing to talk about immigration in a way that we weren't able to talk about in the same way back in 2012. Back in 2012, building a wall was just such an extreme idea because it offended the left so much that, you know, Mitt Romney, if he had said that, he just would have been completely unelectable. Nobody would have gone for him. But now the right is so alienated that, you know, they realize that, you know, they need to quit sacrificing their ideals for the good opinion of others. Instead, they need to double down on their ideals and principles and push it full force. And, I feel like the Overton window's shifted in such a way that people are finally beginning to express themselves freely on social media. Right. Now, we're seeing a lot of backlash. We're seeing it with Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You know, a lot of people aren't having it, or they're just not used to it. This is unprecedented. We haven't seen these ideas pushed out en masse like this in a very long time. So, very interesting times we're living.
Now, you've dug up a lot of information on a lot of different people. I'm pretty sure, or I know for a fact that you've looked into George Soros, right?
You mean I doxed him? No, I didn't.
Not that you doxed him. I think he's out there already. Yeah, I mean, you looked into. I think we talked about once about his kids carrying on his legacy, and this isn't over once when he dies.
His whole fucking monolith is just so deep and so ingrained in our society. I mean, it's on every level. It's in the financial industry, the government, in educational institutions. He's balls deep in Western culture. He has us on lock. So yeah, he's enemy number one in my opinion.
I agree.
Right.
Definitely.
Now, here's a question. Let's do Overton. Let's do the Overton window. If you could kill, you only could choose one. Okay, Hitler baby or Soros baby? Who do you kill?
Well, I think if Hitler had been left to his own devices by the UK, instead of Churchill being a ass-damaged asshole about World War I think, he would have handled Soros anyways. So, I mean, we could have just killed Hitler after he killed Soros, because he was already going to kill Soros anyways.
Right. Even Soros, I guess, was a useful tool at the time for Hitler.
There's been a lot of speculation in rumors and conspiracy theories about Soros's role in the Holocaust or his place in it. I've seen people say a lot of it's a hoax. I tend to believe a lot of stuff's overblown. I look into a lot of conspiracy theories. I've looked into the flat Earth shit. I've looked into the Holocaust. So you got to take everything with a grain of salt, especially from people who are opinionated. And I've looked deep into the Holocaust. I've looked deep into a lot of the atrocities of World War II. There's atrocities on all sides. I can't honestly say that the Germans were innocent by any means, but no, there was definitely a lot of. I think they were definitely fighting against the odds in World War II, and that there was a lot of stuff that happened that we're not willing to talk about because it would offend people's financial interests, and by financial interests, I mean Israeli relations. And that's not something conservatives have been willing to do for a long time, is offend Jews. And we're getting off on a tangent.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. No, I want to go down the rabbit hole a little
bit. You're not,
because
it goes back to your statement earlier, follow the money.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. No, that's exactly it. Now, Sal is in an interfaith marriage. We talk about this all the time, and we poke jokes about his Jewish kids, and not about his Jewish kids, but just about Judaism in general. Sal's kind of our Jew beard, so we might be able to get away with a little bit more. What do you think, Sal?
Where are we going with this?
Where are we going with this? Play the noise. Play the noise real quick.
Because look at Milo. Look at how much Milo was able to get away with on Twitter. He claims that his free speech has been violated somehow. However, he's had how many warnings? And he's been on Twitter since 2007. I want to say it was March of 2007. It was either March or May. I don't remember. But it was early in 2007. Twitter had just launched in mid-2006. So he had been on there since you were able to make a 4-letter username. You literally can't even make a 4-letter username. They're all taken up. I tried because I wanted to steal his user handle, but it said you can't even make it. You can't even make it's got to be longer than 4 letters. Anyways, point I'm getting at is look at how much he's gotten away with. He's gotten his account locked. He's been temporarily suspended. He's had to delete tweets. He's been given warnings by them in writing or otherwise. Most people, when they do something like this, they get immediately permabanned. But because of his influence and because of his following on Twitter, he is given special privileges along with other e-celebrities. Mm-hmm. Their speech is more free than ours is because of their follower count, which is exactly why I think that it's a cancer on the alt-right to push this free Milo tact. When we're fighting for the free speech of an e-celebrity, when they don't need it, they don't need to have it fought for. They already had the special privileges. Why aren't we concerned about the special privileges that we're not afforded to? Why aren't we given warnings? Why aren't we given account locks when we do something mild? It does happen here and there, but it's very, very rare. Usually you post a Harambe picture at a black lady, you're done. As soon as they get enough people to report you, you're out of there. You're out of there. Enough people report you, you're done. But Milo, thousands of people report him when he was into that Brianna Wu thing during 2014. He got temporarily suspended, brought right back.
Right, and then, and they took his blue tick away from him. They took his little check mark, I guess, like a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, that was another thing. They unverified and re-verified. Yeah,
I don't remember that ever happening before to anybody. Do you?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, so that's weird. And so that's where I was going. By the way, we weren't going to go into Holocaust denial on the show. Not this week.
No.
I'm not a subject matter expert on that. I've seen things for myself. I've formed my own opinion on it. I can't rattle off facts like a lot of people can about it. But I've seen the facts for myself. I've seen footage. I've seen evidence that runs contrary with public opinion. And I formed the opinion that there were a lot of atrocities on all sides during World War II. And, yes, Hitler had a lot of problems with the Jews.
Yeah.
That were actually warranted. They were warranted. I don't think anybody should have been gassed because of those issues, but I also don't think anybody got gassed at all by the Germans. The Soviets actually did gas.
You think the Soviets were responsible for the whole gas the Jews sort of thing?
Yeah, we're going down the rabbit hole with that.
No, that's interesting. I'm curious.
Well, there's no blue stains on the wall, and that Zyklon B leaves a very distinct blue stain on the wall. And the only rooms where they actually have those blue stains are the rooms where they disinfected the clothing because of what was going around. Was it smallpox or polio? I forget.
Polio, yeah.
It was basically a fucking plague. Right? So you didn't just have these people getting their clothing disinfected. They had the Nazi soldiers having their uniforms disinfected too. And they did that with Zyklon B. It just killed everything. And if you look inside those rooms, there's no way you could fit that many people in there and kill them and remove their bodies, wait for the gas to clear out, remove their bodies, put them in ovens. And the ovens is a whole different thing. You can't fit that many bodies in that oven and have them burn effectively. Even if you left them in for hours, I've just seen the frequency at which they claim Jews were murdered. It doesn't make any damn sense. The math doesn't add up. So, yeah.
Right.
But like I said, I'm not a subject matter expert, but that's how I feel.
That's interesting. I just, people should, research, listen. I mean, there are a lot of things that, we learned in high school that are complete fucking bullshit. So
it's maddening.
You never know. I mean, I'm not saying the Holocaust never happened. Not saying that. I'm just saying people should fucking, and Sal, going back to this, Google. It's there. Use it. It's wonderful.
It's great. But it's also maddening when you look at how many years you spent in school and how long and how frequently a lot of this crap was shoved down your throat.
Right.
It's maddening that so much time was wasted on that when you could have been learning something. So now I feel like that old man in one of the Matrix sequels, he said, I spent the last, few years making up for the past 30 years or whatever, because, he was asleep the whole time, basically doing nothing, plugged into some network, having shit literally shoved down his throat. And now, we're basically having to educate ourselves all over again.
Right.
We're all completely brainwashed. So that's where the whole red pill meme comes in. It's like we're being jacked out of the Matrix.
Okay, yeah. Because a lot of people talk about, so you took the red pill this. And honestly, I forgot who I told it to, but, people talk about, pull, the board. I've never been there because even there, like, I kind of don't want I don't know how I want to put this. Sal and I were talking about this earlier. When I wrote my book, I wrote a book of poetry. I love writing poetry. As faggot as it sounds, but I love writing poetry. I wrote a book of poetry several years ago. And for a whole year while I was writing the book, I didn't read any poetry at all. So now, ever since I started this podcast, I stopped listening to talk radio for the most part. Besides, besides Ralph and stuff like that. I stopped like going to a lot of message boards. I stopped going to Reddit. I won't go to poll because I kind of like I'll still monitor social media, Twitter, because it's kind of filtered. But I want to kind of create and develop and help other people develop their own thought processes. I mean, the information's out there. It's good to grab it, but a lot of stuff is being shaped, and I don't want that to reflect on me totally. Like I'm not like 100%.
What do you mean it's being shaped?
Yeah, exactly. Like I want to find source information myself.
He's asking, what do you mean?
What?
He's asking, what do you mean being shaped?
What's being shaped?
Well, my view. So instead of like, I would rather have a link. Go to the link, grab the source material, come to my own conclusion. Then someone says, "Hey, this link says X, Y, and Z," and then
so you feel like poll is like an echo chamber where there's like a lot of people with the same.
Honestly, I don't know. I honestly have never been there. I don't know.
I've been there a handful of times. I got out of the whole 4chan thing. I want to say I stopped regularly going there back in 2011. It just got old after a while. I mean, I understand, there's a whole bunch of different anonymous boards now. I can't get into Reddit or 8chan or 4chan. It just seems like I love anonymity. I love what it does for certain people. You're able to, speak a lot more frankly without using your real name, which is good. But I think you're gonna reach a lot less people that way.
I see.
It's good for having a frank discussion and discussing real ideas without there being personal attacks going on. But I kind of fell out of caring about that. I don't care if somebody attacks me because of my opinion, but I guess if you do, something like 4chan's good because you don't want people thinking that you're a weirdo because you deny the Holocaust. So where do you go to talk about it? You go to 8chan or 4chan or Reddit or wherever. No, I mean, obviously I operate behind a pseudonym, and it's not a very I never came up with this name in order to disguise my identity. I've been fully doxxed for a long time. It's my nickname, so it's not a huge secret, but it still gives me a degree of separation from my identity, so I can speak more freely on social media behind a username rather than using my real identity.
Right, and I just want to clarify.
Might argue that maybe that's a little cowardly. I don't think so. I think you got to be pragmatic about this thing.
Yeah, I mean, people could lose jobs over shit like that. I mean, saying pretty innocuous things, people have lost their jobs over.
I've gotten people fired. I know.
Yeah.
Full well.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, but I just want to clarify, like, I don't have a problem with 4chan or 8chan or poll or any of that. It's just for me personally, so I can have a show and question people like you and others about different ideas and opinions. I don't want that stuff kind of influencing where I'm going. I kind of want to go there myself. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's a matter of preference. It's a different format than Twitter. I love Twitter. That's why I hate the fact that it's gone down this road. It used to be really difficult to get banned. I remember 2011. I mean, I really, really pushed the boundary. And it wasn't until either 2012 or 2013 that I was first banned. I've been on there for years and never been banned. And I tweeted this picture, first thing I ever got banned for in years. And I had said all kinds of shit that I say now, and I get immediately banned. But back then it was nothing. But I tweeted this lawyer we were fucking with. She was going after the Occupy movement and Anonymous and stuff, and she was a nut job. So anyways, she was totally paranoid. So I tweeted her this picture of a butter knife I had with jelly on it. And I said, I said some like line from a slasher movie, like Scream. What does the guy say on the phone? Like, I'm counting Shelly or whatever the fuck he says. But anyways, he was like a really like funny, non-threatening thing. I mean, it's a butter knife with jelly on it, and apparently they thought it was supposed to be blood. And the joke was like, "I'm coming. I'm gonna make you a sandwich."
I'm gonna make you a sandwich.
Yeah, that was the first thing I got banned for. And it seems like ever since then it's gone downhill. Like in 2013, we had the first Twitter Trollicast. Like when we went after the feminists and stuff. That was when the feminists really took charge of Twitter.
Right.
2013. And then, they definitely dominated on Facebook shortly thereafter. During the Elliot Rodgers shitstorm, which I had a really big role in.
Mm-hmm.
I made the Facebook page Elliot Rodgers is an American hero, and they threw a total bitch fit about it. Like if you name any news outlet, I mean just at random, there's a good possibility they covered that Facebook page.
So I mean, it just seems okay. So I remember I was using Twitter a long time when TCOT hashtag was first like established.
Oh, geez.
And then I fell off.
I remember that one.
Yeah, I kind of fell off because it was boring to me.
Facebook memes are awful.
What was that T? The T.
Which one?
True conservatives on Twitter.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. TCOT, T-Lot.
That was around the same time as the Tea Party explosion.
Yeah, they're awful. They all came from Facebook. And their old people memes are just so bad. Like, I don't know. Like, I think people over, 40, they should have to go through a verification process in order to create and post memes. Because, they're so cringy and poorly made and irrelevant. Like, there's some lady that posted some shit about Hillary Clinton, like, Hillary Clinton for prison. And it's literally just, an impact font with the black outline, like a typical meme, over a picture of Tweety Bird. And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with Tweety Bird? Oh, God. The fucking baby boomer memes are so awful.
They should have, a Logan's Run for the internet. As soon as you hit a certain age...
Ban the shit out.
Just done.
Sal, play the noise. Goose is going crazy.
The noise. Oh,
play the noise. We got it just for him.
Play a noise.
Play it. We got a certain sound for you. Play, Sal.
The goose sound?
Yeah.
It reminds me of that somebody posted a GIF to me the other day. It was like a goose going after a gorilla, which funny. It reminded me of the last time I got banned when I tweeted a death threat at D-Ray McKesson.
So you got banned for threatening him, but he says the most. That's ridiculous.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't really care when I get banned. I know I'm going to get banned.
Right.
It's I know what I'm writing before I press enter.
Right. You know what's going to happen, and then you kind of just do what you have to do. I mean, people know how to get around that stuff. I mean, VPN, proxy, whatever. But you do what you have to do to get back on.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the first tweet on this new account, the Goose Jenner account, I mean, the first thing I said is that was totally worth it. And it was. I mean, he got him and his followers. It wasn't really directed at him. I mean, it was directed at his followers just to get them pissed because I knew he was going to retweet it.
Right.
And it was going to get a lot of fucking buzz going on. So I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. I had 6,000 followers. I'm like, I really don't want to get e-famous. So I'm like, time to get banned. So I tweeted him a death threat, and I'm like, all right, that's cool. Got a lot of buzz. I felt like, I sufficiently martyred that account.
Mm-hmm.
No,
you
I don't like having
it.
that many followers. It was just getting uncomfortable. I'm like, I don't want to be that well known on Twitter. I'm not. I have a lot of people that would like to do bad things, and it seems like when you reach a certain level of notoriety, it just becomes easier and easier to dox you and get you fired and shit and soil your name. But I kind of keep things level. I get banned every now and again from Twitter, and not only does it keep me from, tarnishing my family's name and shit, but it keeps my ego in check too,
That's true. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Sal. So we have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I want to thank Wild Goose for coming on, dude. Listen, I really appreciate it. It was really awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
So
likewise, good time.
So, again, you can find him at Goose Jenner on Twitter. I know you don't want people following you, but our audience is like 8 people, so it doesn't matter. What?
Don't follow me.
Yeah, don't follow Goose Jenner on Twitter. Whatever you do. But again, yeah, man, thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Hey, yeah, this was a good talk. I really enjoyed myself. Good time.
Yeah. All right. Hey, all right. That was awesome, right, Sal? I want to thank Wild Goose for coming on.
I don't know why I thought it was going to be a little different, but I mean, pleasantly surprised. I don't know why I thought he was going to be like more of a provocateur, and he wasn't. He's a very smart and informative guy.
Yeah, just thinks a little differently. Researches things and uses Google to its full extent, I guess. I mean, I'm gonna really look into Soviets and Holocaust. I want to look into that. I'll probably go to they'll send me to Stormfront, but I want to look into it.
What about how much a Holocaust?
Yeah.
Or
oh God.
About how it doesn't exist on this flat Earth.
There is no Holocaust on the flat Earth. We have to have a flat earther on because they have to explain to me. Who cares? That's what I want to know. Who cares? If Earth's flat, what's the big deal?
Maybe it's the point that they're hiding such. Maybe they don't even know, but maybe it's the fact that their way of thinking that they're hiding something so big from you. What else are they hiding? I don't know.
Who cares? It's like the whole 9/11 thing. It's okay. So 9/11 happened. According to 99.999% of the same population, 9/11 happened, regardless if it's a conspiracy or not, or whatever.
No, it was all CGI. It was all video.
Holograms. But 9/11 happened, and one of the arguments is I hear a lot is they put bombs in the buildings a week before. You've heard that, right?
Thermite.
Thermite and bombs. Why bother? You're crashing a plane into a building. Why even care about putting thermite or bombs in a building if you're going to crash a plane into it? I don't know. Whatever. That's the same. I kind of have the same thing with the flat Earth people. And speaking of conspiracy theories, Alex Jones sells a fuck ton of supplements, doesn't he? I haven't tried any of them. I see good reviews. I mean, I'm not gonna hate on the guy. He's making a good living. And if he's making a good living and selling a good product, can't hate the guy, right?
I mean, you don't know what the effects are going to be.
Well, I think we have a clip of Alex Jones explaining us the effect. Do you have that, Sal? The clip of Alex Jones talking about the effects of his supplements?
You mean this?
No! Get away from me, racist! She's gone! He's on the loose! He's on the loose! Never stop me! Racist!
I love Alex Jones. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like him. They don't like his conspiracy theory. They don't like his act. They don't like whatever. But I adore Alex Jones. I'm sorry. I hope we get to a point where we can have Alex Jones on our show or vice versa. I would die. I would be such a little fanboy. And I would do my impressions.
I love when you freeze that at 1:19, and he's ripping the shirt off, but that guy's standing behind them, and they both have this face like it's some really rough gay stuff happening.
It's rough and tumble, some interracial gay love. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I have to ask people honestly about his supplements because I take a lot of supplements. I do. I don't take Super Vitamil. I don't take Anthroplex. I take a cocktail where I think it's good for me. I don't know if I talked about this before, but I have on the show. But I have rheumatoid arthritis. I have a back injury. I have a bunch of herniated discs. My bones and my immune system are faggots, and they hate me. So I take calcium. I take just straight calcium. Probably not the greatest calcium. It's not like $80 a month super, calcium that you hear on infomercials on 770 WABC or like a radio station. It's just fucking calcium. So
I tell you, I talk about WABC a lot because I used to intern there, almost worked there.
Mm-hmm.
They had a health guy on the weekends. Very, very healthy guy. Died.
Oops. Was he like a vegan, like that vegan that climbed Mount Everest and died?
No, he was always pushing. His slogan on his show, you might have heard it before, is "sick of tired of being sick and tired."
Wasn't that Ozzy? Didn't Ozzy say that? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Wired, yeah.
Well then
yeah.
Well then he plagiarized Ozzy, and then he died for it.
How dare he? Maybe Ozzy cursed him after he plagiarized him. Oh, I'm sure being sick and tired is probably before Ozzy. I'm sure that phrase was around for a while, but I'm pretty sure Ozzy's the one that made it popular. So I take. How old was he when he died? Real quick. Was he in his like 50s, 40s?
I gotta find that now.
Well, I mean, was he a younger guy, an older guy, a middle-aged guy?
I don't think he was too old.
Oh, so he was trying to be healthy. He just dropped dead. If you could get his name, that'd be great. While you're looking that up, I also take Osteo Biflex. I got it for free, so that's why I take it. But it does pretty well. It has Jordan, MSN. I know I'm gonna get so many messages. Oh, you should try this. I'll try this with their affiliate links. But I don't care. I mean, listen, if it works, it works. If it's good, it's good. I don't give a shit. But I take Osteo Bioflex, Magnese, and all that fucking fun shit. So that with the calcium. Take NutriGold, Pharma Thistle Gold. I like NutriGold product, actually. Maybe it'll be a sponsor. Maybe someone should send out a sales email because I really like their products. It's just milk thistle standardized extract. It supports healthy liver function because I was a degenerate. So let's just leave it at that. A little bit of glug and a little bit of the drug. That's all I'm going to say. I also take Twin Lab. Yeah, I know, Twin Lab. No, this is a good product. Allergy C caps, because I like vitamin C. I've read a lot of studies about vitamin C. There was one famous guy, I forgot his name. I read something about him talking about vitamin C and taking like a gram or two of vitamin C a day. It's Allergy C caps fucking from sago palm. So it's not like from rose hips or from ascorbic acid. So I take that, and I don't know if any of this is helping. I mean, maybe it's keeping me from getting worse. So maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's creating just really expensive piss. I take fish oil soft gels from, what company is this? I don't even know what company this is. I don't know. I take fish oil, obviously. I mean, that's good for my back and my joints when you have rheumatoid arthritis. Did you find the guy's name?
Yeah, Richard Ash.
I don't remember him.
Dr. Richard Ash.
And, he was a doctor. How old was he? Did it say?
I'm trying to find. There's supposedly like a little bit of a mystery around his
Uh-oh. Conspiracy.
Well, it is. I'm starting to learn because I've seen shit like this before because there's a website called Natural News. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
Yeah,
they catch a lot of flack because they post some bullshit sometimes.
Yeah, you
gotta
watch it out.
I like when they post like the home remedy stuff, which is cool. Mm-hmm. But then when they go into like vote for Bernie because he's against GMOs and this and that, they piss me off.
They start like plugging "Behold a Pale Horse," which actually is a good book. I mean, if you want to go conspiracy, I think that's like the Bible of conspiracy theories books, in my opinion. "Behold a Pale Horse." But anyway, Vitamin D3 Gold by NutriGold. It's 5,000 IUs of D3 in one soft gel, and it was pretty cheap. And I need a lot of vitamin D, and my vitamin C in 2 capsules. It's 1,500, so 1.5 grams. I take a lot of that shit. I take for my gut. Yeah, this what happens to me after I'm done taking it in the morning. I start screaming, tearing my shirt off. I take Primal Defense Ultra. It's a probiotic formula for your guts. So I like that one. That's, I think, Garden of Life. Yeah, they should pay us. I mean, how much do you think they would pay us per listener? So like 10 cents per listener, so that's what, 80 cents. And I'm not done yet, by the way. I don't take the greatest multi, but I take the best multivitamin I could find, like bang for your buck. Like, I did a lot of research on this. Irwin Naturals Men's Living Green Liquid Gel Multi. And you take 3 soft gels, there's 40. I try to stretch them out, so I'll take 1 and 1 and 1. Because if you just take all these all at the same time, you're probably just going to piss most of it out. Try sectioning it out morning, afternoon, and later afternoon. I can't. But yeah, Living Green. I don't know why people care about my fucking supplements, because I guess I just want to talk about Alex Jones. I take last but not least, and this is actually a good one. I've noticed it actually works very well. Alpha Brain by Onnit, Joe Rogan's company. Mm-hmm. It's a complete earth-grown nootropic. I think this is the new Formula One. They had an old Formula One, they have a new Formula One. I haven't noticed a difference because I've taken both. And I need to buy more anyway. And someone sent me their affiliate link a while ago. I'm going to buy it through them. Who did it? I think it was like Gorilla Radio TV. I don't remember their Twitter. They're a nice person. I was talking to the DMs to tell me their affiliate link. But I'm going to buy more of this too. So that's my supplement, Sal. Maybe I should try Super Vitamin Male or Anthroplex. I don't know. What do you think?
Never stop me! Right
Fuck.
I mean, if you want to turn into that.
Why wouldn't I?
Get away from me, racist!
Well, you were telling me something before about teeth health, about how you would use this teeth whitening shit and it didn't work okay, but you said what works better?
Coconut oil.
Coconut oil, and how long? Like how many times? How long? Like
instead of using mouthwash, use that before you brush your teeth. Swoosh it around in your mouth for like a good 10 minutes.
Right.
It works.
Wow.
Wow. Natural news is good for something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess they're good for their home remedy shit, and they're, talking about natural news. When they start getting into the politics, kind of put the blinders on, right?
Yeah, they don't understand. They want to be for health and wellness and natural remedies, and then they're going to go and push a big government liberal. They're going to be sorry when all of their natural remedies get banned. And then they have to go through a 20-year FDA process. Good luck with that one. Because from what I understand, as far as the medical marijuana component, I'm not an expert on medical marijuana, so I might be talking out of my ass. But from what I understand, for the FDA to approve medical marijuana on the federal level, they would have to take each molecule of the marijuana and see what it does and what effect it does, and isolate each separate molecule or something like that. And there's thousands of them, so it would take centuries for them to do it. So yeah, good luck with these multi stacked sort of supplements like Onnit and Osteo Bioflex and stuff like that, or any multivitamin. Yeah, good luck getting that through the FDA. Good luck, I say. This is a good infomercial.
For who?
For
Alex Jones.
Well, just for I don't know. This is we're going down the road we've never went down.
Oh, like health and nutrition? Yeah. Well, because I'm one of the most unhealthy people on the face of the planet, so I got to balance it out. And seriously though, my medications I take for my RA and my back injury, my spinal injury, it depletes my body of calcium, so I have to take the Osteo Bioflex. I have to take a calcium supplement, and I only have. I'm not gonna say I'm poor, but I can't spend thousands of dollars a month on fucking supplements. Some people do. I can't. I got 2 kids. Yeah. I mean, I'll take the regular calcium if it works. I guess it works.
No. When you were younger, did you ever listen to the guy that told you to say your prayers and pray and take your vitamins?
Let me think. And Sal, I know who said that. Who said that, Sal? Wasn't the Ultimate Warrior? That's your guy. Who was my guy? That's him.
He fights for the rights of every man.
He was right.
say your prayers, take your vitamins, and cheat on your wife with a younger woman, and fuck your daughter.
And cuck somebody on video. You really did cuck somebody.
Yeah.
You cucked Bubba the Love Sponge.
That's great.
So I don't think we're going to get to what I wanted to talk about for the second, because we're being too ridiculous. Honestly, it's too serious as a subject, but I don't mind being ridiculous, but the subject is too serious. We'll get to that on episode 10, part 2.
Okay.
We want to do that instead. No, because we just went from vitamins and natural health to Hulk Hogan cucking his friends. Like, and then we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about. Like, dead children? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
What do you think? Should we go into it, or do you want to just keep playing Hulk Hogan? I don't
know. We could end the show.
You want to end the show? Okay, we'll end the show. All right, so
with another one of his songs.
Oh yeah. Dude, we don't. I'm not even a fan of wrestling, and everything's wrestling with us.
It's a happy accident.
But not even like the song. I mean, everything, like Bryden's intro music, that Macho Man Randy Savage we talked about. I don't know. We talk about too much.
If you think about intro music, I don't know. If I think about intro music, I think about wrestlers.
Right.
I mean, they're known for their entrance music, and you can think of boxers and baseball pitchers, relief pitchers have entrance music, but nothing's more popular than wrestling intro songs when it comes to that type of shit.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you for listening to the Patriarchy Show, everyone. All 8 of you. Make sure you take 10 seconds and give us 5 stars on iTunes. It helps us spread our message, whatever the fuck that is. So.
I saw recently that Malcolm Jamal Warner rated us on iTunes.
What do you give us? How many stars?
5.
Whoa!
Oh, and Gersh Kuntzman.
Gersh Kuntzman?
Yeah.
Who else? Anyone else famous?
I can't think of something about somebody's jeans.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know. Whoever it was mentioned you.
Oh, see, I'm a popular guy. But, so, 5 stars, iTunes, 10 seconds, please do it. I mean, I think we're up to 11 5-star reviews, so that, we're getting up there. We're moving up. The Patriarchy Show is part of NewMediaCentral.net. Check out NewMediaCentral.net for all types of things. We're going to go through a little bit of a rebranding. A little minor rebranding. Nothing significant. NewMediaCentral.net. You can, we are an independent network of new and younger conservatives and libertarian voices. Find informative news, commentary, and thought-provoking podcasts. We are growing rapidly, and since New Media Central is independent of PAC and mainstream media influence, we appreciate any help you can. So, if you can, check out our Patreon, which is on newmediacentral.net. Also, if you give $3 or more a month to our Patreon, I will give you a PDF of my book. Sal, did you know I wrote a book? I do this every time.
I forget every week, and
you forget every week. What the fuck?
I have about. I'm gonna be up after this week up to 10 PDFs of your book.
Fuck, man, get it every week. My book, Broken Volume 1. Broken Volume 1 can be purchased if you don't want to give $3 a month for some reason. You can purchase it for I think 10. I don't even fucking know what the price is anymore. You can purchase it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. It's also available on ebook and Kindle and Nook and iBook and pretty much every single major book outlet. I want to thank Wild Goose. That's how you have it.
Wild Goose. I got the goose.
I want to thank Wild Goose for coming on. Don't follow him on Twitter at Goose Jenner, but do check out his article on the Ralph Retort about Milo and the alt-right. You can follow me on Twitter at Ian D. Erickson. You can follow Sal on Twitter at Liberty by Logic. You can follow the show at Patriarchy Show. And you can follow our network at New Media Central. Just hitting buttons now at this point. Also, don't forget Heart of Marine Foundation. Go to heartofamarine.org. The Heart of Marine Foundation is a nonprofit organization that provides comfort, support, financial assistance, and educational resources to improve the quality of life of military personnel in all branches of the United States Armed Forces, including veterans and their families. So, like I said, we're going to cut this up into 2 episodes. This is This is episode 10, part 1. Episode 10, part 2. We'll be releasing that Wednesday night, Sal.
Yes, sir. Yes, we are.
Okay, so see you Wednesday.
Can I ask you one thing before we go?
Go for it.
Would you ever be open to doing an audio version of your book?
And who reads it?
Gersh Kunstman.
No, not doing that. It's serious poetry, Sal. I'm a serious man sometimes.
Because you're a real American.
Yeah.
You gotta get out of here?
Yeah. See you Wednesday, everybody.
Alright, let's get the hell out of here.